Hi Jay, this is Antonio, obviously. So I went ahead and I recorded this video, or I'm going to record this video on my screen so you can see exactly how to do this. Um, so let's get started, right? The what you want to do is find out this if these properties are still in foreclosure or not. So for that reason, you have here your case number, right? So the case number is going to allow you to look up in public records to find out who exactly is still in foreclosure and who's not. And so what you're going to want to look for is going to be uh, essentially about three or four things. Number one, you're going to find out if they have a sale date, meaning if they have an auction date or they have an order of motion for non-jury trial, which they go ahead and they interchange the words non-jury trial and summary judgment. So the non-jury trial is exactly that. It's a trial without a jury, right? And so what does that mean? It means that basically at that point, the bank has produced all the evidence possible. They've gone through all of the all of the motions and all the hearings that they got to go through in order to get to the point where the judge is going to order a final judgment. All right, and a final judgment. And actually, let me go ahead and add that in here. Final judgment. So the final judgment is exactly that. It's like the judgment. It's what allows the bank to actually put the house on auction, and essentially what they're doing is they are exercising their judgment, right? But you don't get that final judgment until there is a motion for a non-jury trial or a motion for summary judgment. Okay, so you want to look out for that. The other thing you want to look for is if the person is in a bankruptcy, right? And there's three, and I'll show you right now where you're going to put this information, these abbreviations, right? So if the person is in bankruptcy, right, the foreclosure is still good to go. If they do have a bankruptcy, but it's after you see something about a motion for non-jury trial, right, then you're going to put BKCX. And then if they did a bankruptcy after they had a sale date, then you're going to put BKCXX. And where you're going to put this stuff, Jay, is going to be here. There's a column all the way to the right where it says priority, right? So if the person has a sale date, you're going to put two X's. If they have a bankruptcy, you're going to put the BKC, et cetera, et cetera. So I went ahead. You have the priority key here on the last in the last section of, or the last tab of the of your spreadsheet. Okay. So I'm going to go through an example. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to, since you're in Miami-Dade, you're going to put Miami-Dade civil case search, right? And in Miami-Dade, or anywhere for that matter, there's two types of there's two types of cases, right? There are the criminal cases and civil cases. So in this case, you're going to be looking up civil cases, right? So this is the online court system or search system for Miami-Dade. And you're going to see it here, OCS, Miami-Dade County Clerk of Courts. You're going to click on this, and then you're going to click on local case number, right? So the local case numbers, they should be pretty familiar to you, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to grab this case number, and what you really want to copy is only going to be the middle number right here, like the actual case number. The first part is going to be the year. So if you look down at all these cases, right, they all have a case number, or excuse me, a year, the case, and then as you can see as well, you're going to have CA01, right? So it's always going to be CA01, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go in here, for example, and you're going to click the year 2000. You're going to paste the serial number, and then you're going to click CA01. You're going to hit I'm not a robot, and then you're going to hit search, right? See, look, so Milagros Gonzalez, right? So if we go back up here, so estate of Armando Gonzalez. So estate, when you see EST of someone, it means that that person passed, right? So it means that this person actually, they died. So what you want to look at in this case is that when you go out there and you go to talk to them, you're not going to be looking for that person. You're going to be looking for either the wife or whoever whoever was the heir of the property, right? And this is a very specific example, right? So again, what are we looking for, right? In this case, Milagros Gonzalez apparently is the heir. So that's the person you're going to want to go and look for, right? So this is something you might want to add in the notes. So all the cases, all right, all the cases always start with the lis pendens. The lis pendens is the document that actually, that is like what initiates the foreclosure, right? So for example, you are notified of the institution of this action by a plaintiff on the date set forth hereon by the clerk of courts in the stamp or notation stamped or affixed hereto, seeking to recover possession of the following real estate or real and personal property, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So that's the whole point, right? Like every single case is going to have a lis pendens. And then from the lis pendens up, there's going to be a bunch of stuff that happens. But what we're really looking for, the first thing or the first sign that this case is, here it is. This is what you're going to be looking for. For a motion for summary judgment. The motion for summary judgment essentially is indicating that this case is about like 75%, 80% in, right? So if we look up, right, motion for summary judgment, here's the motion calendar, so motion for summary judgment. And then if we keep going up, final judgment by judge, final judgment, right? So it looks like they got the final judgment. And then notice of sale. So whenever a person gets a final judgment, they automatically get a sale date, which they had a sale date in February of 2020, right? So then look, boom, they did a suggestion of bankruptcy. So whenever you see suggestion of bankruptcy, right, it means that they are going to, or that they did a bankruptcy. And so they put in a suggestion of the bankruptcy. It's like a document that you have to go. So if we look at the timeline, right? So that was back in February of 2020, and here we are, it looks like August of 2021, they put a motion to reset the sale date. So they got the notice of hearing for September 2nd. And if we keep looking up, right, look, September 2nd, order resetting foreclosure case. So they reset it for October 25th, right? So notice of sale for sale date on October 25th. So boom, they did a second bankruptcy, right? So they're going to go ahead and stop. The suggestion of bankruptcy actually stops the sale, right? So as you can see here, order to cancel sale date. And the case is still pending the bankruptcy stay, right? So these people have had 2 sale dates and 2 bankruptcies. So what are we going to do? We're going to put, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight, we're going to copy the date, the docket entry, event types, and any notes of the last thing that seems to be the most important, right? So if we go back to your list, we're going to go in, you have to double click too. Double click in this cell, paste the information, and then here in priority, we're going to put BKCXX. All right. So let's do another one. Let's do this one. 2019. So we're going to copy this. We're going to copy the actual number. We're going to go back here. We're going to go back to search. We're going to type 2019. I'm going to paste that in there. Hit I'm not a robot. And then we're going to hit search. Right. Now we're going to go here to the dockets. And same thing. Right. We're going to go ahead and look. And you could go from the bottom to the top. But after a while, you're going to see, you know, it's almost like the same thing. But yeah, whenever you see the summons or e-summons or anything like that, that's like the very beginning of the case. Yeah, you see list pendants. And these guys have been going back and forth, sitting what's called a case management conference. It's almost like a mediation, right? So, you know, nothing has really happened, right? So what are we going to do? I would say, you know, the most important thing here, order, case management order, proposed case management report and order, February certificate of service. So we're just going to click this. We're going to highlight this. Because remember, this is just to let you know where they're at. And if the person going through foreclosure does not have any of these things going on, right? They don't have a sale date, an order or motion for non-jury trial, they haven't done bankruptcy, then, you know, when we leave it blank, it just means that they're at the beginning or at the earlier stages of the case. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the list, and right here, we're not going to put anything in there, right? So let's do one more. All right. So we're going to copy that number. We're going to go back to our search. We're going to put 2018. And then let's go. Let me see something. Was it 2019? Yeah, it was 2019. This is 2018. So Juana M. Martinez. We look here. Yep, Juana M. Martinez. So let's go back to the case. Let's look at the dockets. Okay, look. And so these people have a discharge or release of list pendants. As soon as you see this, or if you see voluntary dismissal, you want to go ahead and take it off. Take it off your list, right? So we don't really waste any more time looking into this. We're just going to highlight it. We're going to right click. We're going to delete the row, okay? What are we going to do? We're just going to go on to the next one, right? We're going to copy this number, go up. I think it was 2020. Let me make sure. Yep, 2020. Put that number in there. I'm not a robot, and hit search. Right? Click here. Okay, look, see another discharge or release of list pendant. So what do? Right? We're going to go back to our list. Let me just do that while this is back to our list, and we're going to delete these guys. Let me make sure that, in fact, that was the case we were looking for, actually. I don't want to delete somebody that we're not supposed to delete. Yeah, 2020. And let me look. Yeah, okay. Just making sure, right? So these are pretty good examples, considering that the first one was bankruptcy. The second one, you know, was a release of the list pendants. So let's look here. This looks to be, since it says market value NA, this means that this is this is probably a multifamily property. But let's go here. Let's erase that. Put this in here. I'm not a robot. Hit search. We're gonna hit dockets. Notice of appearance. We're granting. So you see right there, 20-day summon, E20-day summon. So what this tells me is that this is a relatively new case. So, you know, again, we're just trying to figure out where in the process this is. So as long as you look at these and you can tell for yourself, right, where you think this, or what do you think describes where this person is in the foreclosure case, that's what you're going to put into the notes, right? Usually it's the most important thing that happened last. In this case, there's really nothing important that's going on here, except, you know, they're replying to the defense, right? They're replying to the case. So what we're going to do, we're going to put that here. And since there is no, again, since there is no bankruptcy, there is no sale date, there is no non-jury trial, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're just going to leave it blank. And so let's do one more. Let's copy this one. It's 2019. 2019. Click that. Erase this. Hit that. And then let's keep moving forward. Right? See, order of dismissal, discharge, or release of list pendants. Right? So we're not going to waste time with this. We're just going to delete it. And let's do one more. I know I keep saying one more, but I want to make sure that you get a good idea of how to do this. Okay, so we're going to go back. It was 2019. So let's put this in there. Let's change it. Discharge, release of list pendants, right? Okay, so we go back and we're going to delete it. So essentially that's what you want to do. You want to go back, you want to delete it whenever there's a discharge or release of list pendants, okay? I'm also going to go ahead and add here things to look out for, which is going to be discharge or release of list pendants, and you'll also want to delete it off your list if you see a certificate of sale or certificate of title. All right, and what that means is that the house was sold at the auction. So what you should see before this is, what precedes this is a sale date. Sale date will precede this. Right, meaning that in order for the house to be sold, obviously it needs to have a sale date. So if you see a sale date, and then on the day or the next day after the sale date, you see a certificate of sale, and then eventually you see a certificate of title, just go ahead and take it off your list, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it. The next part, and the reason why I wanted to refresh you on this is because we did add the priority tab, okay? And so this is what it looks like, right? And I'll show you why I started adding the priority tab is because it's going to allow you when you create your map on Batch Geo, right? What it does, it allows you to separate the properties you want to go visit first from the properties that you want to visit last. So people that don't have, you see how down here it says empty? That would be like these two guys right here. Their cell is empty, right? So these guys are still at the beginning of their case, right? Next is going to be, I already used this map, so that's why you don't see any double X's, because those are like the very first people that you go visit. So for example, when you're out there and you're door knocking or you're talking to people, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight only the double X's, for example. And that day, you're just going to go and visit people that have sale dates. On other days, you're going to, once you go through all the people that have sale dates, then the next people you want to go visit are going to be the people that have an upcoming summary judgment or non-jury trial. So for example, these guys right here, right? These are the next guys. Then after that, you want to go visit the guys that are in bankruptcy, right? So you're going to go visit these guys. And then after that, right, once you're done with all the bankruptcies, these are the people you're going to go visit, which are the people that don't have anything really urgent coming up. And these guys are, chances are that it's less likely to, they're less likely to want to do a short sale or anything like that. So it's a great way of organizing the information in a way that you get to visit the people who are most likely to be highly motivated to sell their house versus, just going randomly, from property to property, right? Like you see these guys, there's a group here. You could do it this way too. I like it the way that, where I visit the people who are most vulnerable first, just because, especially, it doesn't seem like it's far from here to like these people here, but most of the time these guys are like 10 to 15 minutes apart, right? So and I live all the way east, so when I come down Sunrise, right, chances are I'm going to visit these people first, right, instead of visiting these people first, right? So what I do is I just try to get all the people out of the way by their level of priority or by their level of urgency. So that's why we went ahead and added this column here, okay? Moreover, it's really important also to copy the whatchamacallums, the docket notes, because when you are in front of this person's house, I'll give you an example. You see the docket notes actually come out right at the end. You see here it says e-summons, right, et cetera, et cetera. This person's like right at the beginning of their case. And all this information that's here is essentially all the information that you have up here in your on your column headers, right? So call me if you have any questions. I wanted to record this video for you just because, of course, I wanted you to have this recorded for you. And I'll be sending this to you shortly, okay? So I hope it helps. And yeah, give me a call if you have any questions. Thanks, Jay. Bye.